Dead Sea Scrolls are one of the most significant archaeological discoveries of the 20th century. These ancient manuscripts, dating back over 2,000 years, have shed remarkable new light on the history and beliefs of early Judaism and the origins of Christianity. But what do the Dead Sea Scrolls actually reveal, and how do their contents relate to the Bible? The Dead Sea Scrolls were first discovered in 1947 by a Bedouin shepherd searching for a lost goat in the Judean desert. He stumbled upon a cave containing a trove of ancient parchment and papyrus fragments. Over the next decade, more caves were uncovered in the same region, eventually yielding thousands of scroll fragments. In total, the Dead Sea Scrolls comprise the remains of nearly 1,000 separate manuscripts. The vast majority of the scrolls are written in ancient Hebrew, with some in Aramaic and Greek. The texts cover a wide range of subjects, including books of the Hebrew Bible, apocryphal writings, legal texts, and documents about sectarian rules and beliefs. Remarkably, the Dead Sea Scrolls include the earliest known copies of biblical texts, predating the previously oldest manuscripts by nearly 1,000 years. So what do these ancient scrolls reveal about the Bible and the origins of Judeo-Christian faith? The Dead Sea Scrolls provide unprecedented insights into the diverse religious beliefs and practices that were present in ancient Judea during the last centuries BCE and the 1st century CE, the same period when the New Testament was taking shape. One of the most significant findings from the Dead Sea Scrolls is the confirmation that multiple versions of the Hebrew Bible were in circulation at the time. The scrolls include fragments from all the books of the Hebrew Bible, except for the Book of Esther. But the text of these biblical books often differs from the standardized Masoretic text that later became the basis for most modern translations of the Old Testament. This suggests that the biblical canon was not yet fixed during the time of the Dead Sea Scrolls. Different Jewish communities and schools of thought seem to have preserved distinct versions of the scriptures. The discovery of these variant texts challenges the idea of a single, uniform biblical tradition in ancient Judaism. Moreover, the Dead Sea Scrolls contain numerous previously unknown Jewish writings that were not included in the Hebrew Bible. These include sectarian texts that describe the beliefs and practices of a Jewish group known as the Essenes, who may have lived at the site of Qumran where the scrolls were found. The Essenes appear to have been a strict, ascetic community that separated itself from mainstream Jewish society. The Essene writings reveal a complex and diverse religious landscape in ancient Judea, with competing schools of Jewish thought and practice. This diversity is further reflected in the wide array of interpretations and commentaries on biblical books found among the Dead Sea Scrolls. For example, the scrolls contain multiple versions of the Book of Genesis, with each offering distinct perspectives on the patriarchal narratives. There are also unique scriptural interpretations that draw on established biblical traditions while incorporating new ideas and revelations. This suggests that ancient Judaism was not monolithic, but rather encompassed a range of theological perspectives and spiritual practices. Interestingly, many of these sectarian writings from Qumran bear striking similarities to the beliefs and teachings found in the New Testament. This has led some scholars to propose that early Christianity may have emerged from within this broader Jewish milieu, with the followers of Jesus representing one particular strand of Second Temple Judaism. The Dead Sea Scrolls, for instance, contain texts that describe a teacher of righteousness, a prophetic figure who was persecuted and killed by the wicked priest. Some have speculated that this figure may have been an earlier prototype for the life and death of Jesus. Other Qumran texts mention a Son of God and discuss concepts like predestination, the final judgment, and the idea of a new covenant, all of which have parallels in the New Testament. At the same time, the scrolls also reveal significant theological differences between the beliefs of the Essenes and the emerging Christian movement. For example, the Essenes seem to have rejected the idea of individual atonement through sacrifice, a core tenet of Christian theology. They also appear to have had a more pessimistic, dualistic worldview that contrasted with the message of redemption and hope found in the Gospels. So while the Dead Sea Scrolls provide important context for understanding the origins of Christianity, they do not offer a simple or straightforward connection to the life and teachings of Jesus. Rather, they demonstrate the rich diversity of Jewish thought and practice that existed in ancient Judea, a landscape in which the new faith of Christianity would eventually take root and grow. Beyond their relevance to the Bible and early Judeo-Christian history, the Dead Sea Scrolls also shed light on the everyday lives and religious practices of Jews during the Second Temple period. Fragments found in the Qumran caves include everything from legal contracts and letters to recipes, calendars, and even a manual for using divination to forecast the future. These mundane documents offer a rare glimpse into the quotidian concerns and activities of ancient Judeans, far removed from the high-level theological debates and scriptural interpretations found in the more famous sectarian writings. They reveal that the people who lived in and around Qumran were not just cloistered scholars, but engaged in the full range of agricultural, economic, and social activities that characterized ancient Judean society. Intriguingly, the Dead Sea Scrolls also contain some texts that are not directly related to Judaism at all. A small number of the manuscripts appear to be astrological or alchemical in nature, suggesting that the community at Qumran may have been interested in or influenced by Hellenistic and Near Eastern esoteric traditions. This interdisciplinary aspect of the Dead Sea Scrolls underscores their value as a window into the cultural and intellectual milieu of ancient Judea. They demonstrate that the religious worldview of Second Temple Judaism was not isolated or insular, but rather engaged with a broader matrix of beliefs, practices, and ideas circulating throughout the ancient Mediterranean world. Of course, the Dead Sea Scrolls have also been the subject of intense scholarly debate and controversy over the years. One of the most persistent questions is the identity and affiliation of the people who produced and preserved these manuscripts. Were they indeed the Essenes, as is commonly believed? Or could they have been some other Jewish sect or even a group of early Christians? The evidence from the scrolls themselves is somewhat ambiguous on this point. While there are clear parallels between the beliefs and practices described in the Qumran texts and what we know about the Essenes from other ancient sources, there are also some notable differences. Moreover, the excavations at Qumran have yielded mixed results, with some archaeologists arguing that the site was not solely a monastic settlement, but rather a more diverse community. Additionally, the question of how representative the Qumran texts are of broader trends in ancient Judaism remains open to debate. Some scholars contend that the sectarian writings found in the Dead Sea Scrolls reflect only a small, fringe element of Jewish thought and do not necessarily capture the mainstream religious currents of the time. Ultimately, the significance of the Dead Sea Scrolls lies not in their ability to provide definitive answers, but rather in their capacity to expand our understanding of the diverse and complex religious landscape of ancient Judea. They remind us that the origins of Judaism and Christianity were far more multifaceted than the traditional narratives would have us believe. By shedding light on the rich variety of theological perspectives and scriptural interpretations that existed prior to the canonization of the Hebrew Bible and the emergence of Rabbinic Judaism, the Dead Sea Scrolls challenge us to rethink our assumptions about the development of these foundational Abrahamic faiths. In doing so, they also raise fascinating questions about the role of religion in shaping individual and collective identity, the relationship between orthodoxy and heterodoxy, and the ways in which ancient spiritual traditions evolved and adapted over time. The Dead Sea Scrolls, in short, offer a portal into a world of religious pluralism and intellectual ferment that has profound implications for how we understand the origins of Judaism, Christianity, and the Western religious tradition as a whole. As we delve deeper into the secrets of these ancient manuscripts, we may find that their true significance lies not in the specific historical or theological claims they appear to support, but rather in the wider vista they open up onto the rich tapestry of human spiritual experience. The Dead Sea Scrolls remind us that the search for meaning and purpose has always been a multifaceted and contested endeavor, and that the answers we seek are often more complex and elusive than we might imagine. In the end, the true value of the Dead Sea Scrolls may be their ability to inspire us to embrace the full complexity and diversity of our religious heritage, to see the sacred not as a monolithic or static entity, but as a dynamic, evolving field of human expression and inquiry. By engaging with these ancient texts, we may find that they challenge us to re-examine our own assumptions, to cultivate greater humility and openness in our approach to faith and belief, and to see the divine in the unexpected and the unfamiliar. The secrets of the Dead Sea Scrolls are not easily unlocked, but the journey of discovery they invite us on is one that promises to enrich and transform our understanding of the human experience in profound and enduring ways. As we continue to unravel the mysteries of these ancient manuscripts, may we find in them not just historical insights, but also a wellspring of wisdom and inspiration that can guide us toward a deeper, more nuanced appreciation of the sacred in all its manifestations.